Good afternoon, everyone. David Paul speaking. It's 8 minutes to 3 on Friday, the 21st of August. I'll try and keep this short. That's VectorVest USA, just into the trading day. And as you can see, the number of declines significantly ahead of the advances. The S&P opened up pretty much where it closed last night after a hectic overnight session, and it's crawled back a little bit, 3 points up as I speak. If we have a look at that, I can see that that's what's happened. This 78% retracement on the 5-minute chart of the big sell-off, well, that sell-off, is a very important level. So through 33.90 we'd be well on our way to pushing up to that 3400 level that's been in the market's way for quite a long time. So let's see if we can do that today. I spoke about the holdings that I have in the US, and those haven't changed substantially since the last time we spoke. So let's focus on the UK market today rather. That's VectorVest UK. That's last night's close, Thursday the 20th of August. Not a particularly good day, and again, the last time I looked at the FTSE, it had dropped down below 6,000. Last night it closed at 6,013. Folks, we've been the primary wave has been down in the UK for the last 3 days, and in fact, yesterday we printed a red light in the price column of the color guard, telling us that the price was down day over day and week over week. And within the red we can see a little black star, and that's telling us that the price was down and is falling of the VectorVest composite, but the momentum is also gaining on the downside, so the sell-off speeding up. Not a good place to be if you're buying shares. VectorVest does not advocate buying stocks at this time. Is exceptionally good advice. Okay, so I want to look at the VectorVest composite, folks, and there is the composite, and I'm going to put it up over 6 months, and this is what the VectorVest market timing signals are based upon. This is an equally weighted index of all of the companies that we follow in the UK market, and I've superimposed these signals called the DEW market timing signals on the composite. These are the signals that I've been following in this campaign. So we got a buy signal on the 7th of April, a sell signal that came to nothing a month ago, 3 weeks ago, and at the moment the DEW is still up, but it's getting darn close to in fact keeling over again. Of note is this huge divergence, and if I put up the American market, it's pretty much the same. So we've got this market creeping up on virtually no breadth, and the buy-sell ratio in the UK just slightly above 1. Folks, I do not believe that this time will be different. At our last Q&A, one of our regular customers asked me, should you ignore the divergence on the buy-sell ratio? Most definitely not. This time will not be different. However, for the moment the trend is up, and I think we need to keep our eye on the American market as well. If it can push through that 3,400 level on the S&P, then we can certainly get another run in this market. So a time to be very cautious indeed, and I think that conservative people should be maybe raising a little bit of cash. I'm holding all of my positions, and I will continue to hold them as long as they're one or above their stop losses, and the DEW is up. So that's the case. The front page of VectorVest UK says categorically that VectorVest does not advocate buying stocks at this time. If this should change, I've in fact come across 3 shares that I like the look of for your watch list. And if I go into viewers here, the first one was suggested at our weekly Q&A by again a very experienced investor. This is Venture Life, a name share. significantly undervalued with a huge RV and a fair to good RS. Volex similarly undervalued. RV is good, RS is excellent nearly. And then a favourite of mine, which is Augean, and Augean pulled back a little bit on a sell recommendation, so it's got a bit of work to do before we would even consider buying it. These shares, as you can see, PEs in really good places, and growing earnings strongly, and the long-term trend, the CI, which is one of my favorite VectorVest metrics, in really good shape, all above 1.3 on a scale between 0 and 2. So let's look at these charts, and this is a 2-year weekly chart, folks, and it's in my normal layout, which is the candle plot, and this is a weekly plot. Above the candle plot is the VectorVest valuation. In a separate window is earnings per share, forecast earnings per share. And then down below I've got volume. And as you can see, this share went sideways to nowhere for a long time, but earnings per share slowly but surely creeping up from 1 penny to 5 pence over the last 2 years. And based on that, the share was revalued by VectorVest in the last half a dozen months. As it rose, huge volume, that's really good. And as it's gone sideways around this 80 pence level, volume has in fact fallen to virtually nothing. That's a really good sign. Ladies and gentlemen, a break up here when VectorVest says it's safe to buy shares should precipitate quite a strong move, and that would be a move with a target of about 60 pence, and that would take us up to the VectorVest valuation about £1.40. So that's something for you to consider should the general market in fact start to move again. This is Volex. Now this is a share that I've done very well in the past, and again 2-year weekly chart, and again the same layout. Earnings per share has moved up over the last 2 years from 7 pence to 12 pence, so it's nearly doubled in that period. Strong move up at the tail end of last year, and in that period lots and lots of volume, and you can see that on up days here we got nice big volume spikes as well. Again, this I think many would judge that it has broken out already. It's on a buy recommendation in VectorVest, and the target again there is quite 60 pence target owed. That would take this to again to around the VectorVest valuation of about £2. So just let's see what the general market says. The last one is Augean, and this is a share that I did exceptionally well in. I think all our VectorVest people did exceptionally well in this period. Now it pulled back, and it pulled back to that long-term trend line. Again, this is a 2-year chart. Earnings per share in the period has trebled from 6 pence to 18 pence. That's quite something. Again, we can see up days marked with reasonable volume. Now this is hard to discern. We had a huge volume day here and it came off a little bit, but it was a very weak day in the general market as well. It's on a sell recommendation in VectorVest, folks, and I think that if we were to see this reversing here, a big green week on lots of volume, then that would be a good place to look at the stock. I like the stock, but it needs to confirm a nice turnaround here. Don't worry, we'll keep our eye on it at the Q&As, but the front page of VectorVest saying categorically that VectorVest doesn't advocate buying stocks at this time. That's great advice. Remember, as Dr. DeLito says, the most important thing to know is whether the market is rising or falling. Everything follows from that. It is my view that this time will not be different, and sooner or later that divergence on the canary, the buy-sell ratio, will bite. Nevertheless, we can easily get a strong move into October, November, probably around the American elections. So let's just have a last look at the S&P, and the S&P pushing on that 3390 level, that fib level. One of the reasons that I think there'll be another push in the market is that the world is full of bears, and normally when a market in fact falls, the last of the bears have turned to bulls and then it falls. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see another push in this. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. The best we can do is to, in fact, subjugate our ego and just do what the darn thing tells us to do. Have a great weekend, folks. I look forward to seeing you all at our Q&A on Monday afternoon, 1:30, where we have a guest speaker. And the guest speaker is going to be talking about short-term trading with the Derby on VectorVest USA. Thank you. Bye-bye.